Well, a look at the calendar suggests that we're edging from September into October, and that means two things. One, it's my birthday, and two, elections are coming in the United States. And from all the signs at this point, these elections promise to be a pretty big deal. So we've got some helpful ideas for you, for all of those interested in tracking what's happening politically here in the United States this week on The Link. Well, hello and welcome back. Great to have you here. Well, you know, as we're taping this today, it's primary day in a number of places around the country, including here in the District of Columbia. I can't wait to go get my I voted sticker. And we thought, well, this would be a great time to kind of introduce you to just a few of the many websites that are out there for all of those interested in following U.S. politics. Now, as we say, these are just a few. We're not necessarily endorsing any of these, and there's lots more to explore as well. But this is kind of a good place to start, a good kind of starting toolkit, I guess, for those interested in tracking what's happening here in the United States. Well, we thought the first best place to start would be with what is actually happening, with a news site. Of course, VOA News is always going to have lots of politics around, you know, here in the States. But for those who just really can't get enough of this stuff, that is what our first website is for this week. The web address is Politico.com. That's actually a publication here in the United States. And Politico is updated 24 hours a day, and I mean 24 hours a day, usually minute to minute. It is full of news stories, videos, audio, blogs, kind of commentary, certainly a lot of political gossip, just about anything that you're interested in. If it's going on politically and people are talking about it, well, it's going to be here at Politico.com. Okay, well, that's fine if you're interested in what's happening. But let's say you want to kind of explore a little bit more into, you know, the nuts and bolts of this election. What is actually going on? Well, that's what our next several websites are for. And our next stop this week on The Link is a web address called electoral-vote.com. Now, this basically is a kind of good, real helpful spot to kind of learn what's going on here in the United States. This map here showing all the 50 states, and all of these kind of colors are indicative of the Senate races in the United States. Now remember, all 435 members of the House of Representatives and 1/3 of the Senate are up for election. So here, for example, looking at the Senate map, I can see in Pennsylvania, I can see who the candidates are, I can see what their current poll numbers are, I can kind of, you know, see little notes about it as well. If you click on each state, you're going to kind of find a lot more in terms of, oh, I don't know, the most recent tracking polls and that kind of thing. Information about House races as well. Well, this is pretty handy, and it's also nice and graphical. But what happens if you're wanting even more information? I mean, really kind of boring down into what's happening. Well, that is our next stop this week. And our web address here, our third stop, is Pollster.com. Well, it is pretty much what it says it is. It is a collection of polls. Polls and polls and polls. There's lots of graphics here, so for those of you that like graphics, as I do, for generic Obama job approval, that's great. As you can see here, all the poll updates, multiple polls from multiple states, so Kentucky, Nevada, Ohio, California, Ohio. What's most interesting, I think, about this website is not just all of the polls, which are kind of very often compendiums, kind of showing you what the averages are, but all of the analysis that's to be found here as well. Some of the top pollsters working in the United States offer up their comments here on this web address, and it's all yours for free. So if you want to know sort of what the story behind the numbers is, Pollster.com is a great place to go. Okay, all fine and well. That's sort of what's going on. But let's say you want to really dig down deep into the who's behind the campaigns and the candidacies as well. Well, very often that means contributors, and that is our fourth stop this week on The Link. It's a website. It's just an amazing tool. It's called opensecrets.org. Now, all campaign contributions are a matter of public record. So anybody in any organization that gives money to a campaign, all that money is collected and records are kept. So I'm just going to search here, for example, for a race that's been talked about a lot. Here's Senator Russ Feingold in Wisconsin. And here is graphically presented all kinds of information. So you can see how much money he's raised, how much money he's spent, his cash on hand. You can see a breakdown in terms of where the money has come from. So 91% individual contributions. And you can see, for example, here graphically, His opponent, Ronald Johnson, is 73% funded just by out of his own pocket. So a real amazing tool, and you can even kind of bore down deeper in that, find individual campaign contributors as well, how much they're contributing, where they're from, all kinds of information. It's all collected here at opensecrets.org. Not so much of a secret anymore. Well, those are just a couple of the many, many websites out there that are tracking politics here in the U.S. If you're interested in drilling down even deeper, you can, of course, go to our website. We're going to have complete coverage right up until and through after the elections as well. But if you have any questions, you can drop us a note. We love hearing from you and answering your questions. You can write to us at the link at voanews.com. Take a moment and drop us a line. We get lonely. Well, that is the link for this week. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you again real soon.